You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Under the Dome After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Under the Dome After Show.
Hey everybody, Bing is for doing, and we are doing another Under the Dome after show. This is episode 105, Blue on Blue. I am Matt Lieberman, and joining me as always is the fantastic Miss Jacque Borowski.
Hey.
Hey. So lots to talk about this week.
This episode was insane.
Yes.
It was insane.
It was a big deal
In a
episode.
great way.
I know. And like, we knew, of course, on some level that the dome wasn't going to come down this week, right?
Well, I mean, it's only episode 5 and we have 13 episodes. So
right.
Unless
So
they're doing this from like purgatory or the beyond.
there was not going to be a dome coming down.
Right.
But we got to see yet again what happens to this town when their backs are against the wall and they think that the end is here. And it caused everybody to clash and change a little bit. I want to talk first, because we have a lot of characters to cover. I want to talk about Big Jim first, because he had a lot to do this week.
And we were both right.
We were both right.
We were
So
both right.
last week we were debating whether or not Big Jim would let Angie out of the fallout shelter.
Right.
And at first I thought, oh yeah, I'm right, because he doesn't let her out immediately.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to think about this. I'm going to think about the effect that this is going to have on my family and my son, who I just made an effing cop, you know, and I can't really blow up his spot because that'd blow up my spot. And Angie's just freaking out. Then, after he finds out that the whole town is going to be leveled by the mother of all bombs, which when Reverend Coggins was talking about that at the top of the episode, called it.
Yeah,
this
he
guy,
totally called
Moab,
it.
mother of all bombs.
Yes.
Haven't heard that phrase since like 2005. Since like the height of the Iraq War, but there it is. And he only lets her go because he's like, well, we're all gonna die. It's not really gonna hurt me in any fashion, but oh man, is it gonna hurt him next week?
Unless Junior shoots Angie now that he knows.
Oh my God, no! I don't want him to shoot her.
I know, I don't either, but he's such a cray-cray.
I know, but then almost worse. I feel like she almost kind of forgave him at the end of the episode.
She gives him her, like, bitch please face, and then gives him a hug. I was like, you don't do that after the bitch please face.
Exactly. She's like, bitch please face, and then she's like, but you were only doing it because you thought I was possessed. Get in here, you big lug. No! His face is too big to be a normal working person. Okay?
No, it's Andy Samberg's face. Why isn't it nicer?
It's not Andy Samberg's face, because Andy Samberg's face fits on his head. Okay? His face is the size of Manhattan. And
This poor actor.
No.
You probably made him crying in his bedroom right now.
He's-
He's probably a really nice person in the real world.
right, yeah, he's crying on top of his pile of Under the Dome season 1 money. No. I do not take anything back. But Jim's kind of in a pickle here, right? So
Yes.
Reverend Coggins tells him, you know, you need to repent because Reverend Coggins, again, crazy person, right?
I also like that Reverend Coggins, when they're all going to visiting Dome Day, he's like preaching and he has like 2 people that are listening to him and he's like, my congregation. And I'm like, you just talked to 2 people who I think just walked away.
Well, he thinks that God is talking to him through his hearing aid.
That's true.
So he's seeing plenty of people who aren't there all the time. In his mind, there are plenty of witnesses to his murder.
That's, yes.
Yes. Not that his mind matters anymore because he was, again, murdered. Pretty efficiently.
I am going to miss him. I'm going to miss his, like, amusing, crazy person. Like, he's not, like, thoughtful crazy like Big Jim and Junior.
Yeah.
He's just like balls to the wall. I don't think about anything
He's
crazy.
not methodical.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss the guy who like burns pills one at a time, or who instead of shredding paper burns it in a house.
Well, every good show needs a wild card.
Right.
Someone who's going to engender chaos. And he
And
was,
we have more wild cards, but
Yeah, we have more wild
our
cards.
funny wild card is gone.
yeah. Well, that's like 2 wild cards down because he's down, and then the cop who went nuts is down. So how
Right.
many more wild cards do we have? I mean, we have Junior, but he's not that wild, not yet.
Oh, he's gonna get there.
He's gonna get wild.
You can see it in his eyes.
His huge eyes.
And when Angie hugged him, she should have just slipped the gun out of his hands to be like, the world is
well, no,
ending.
he had already put the
Do
gun
you need
down.
this gun?
He put the gun down, didn't he? He put the gun down
I thought he
on
just
the.
put it in his lap.
No, he put it on the nightstand.
Oh.
He put it on the nightstand. So.
My eyes are not what they used to be.
Oh no, Jacque Borowski, your eyes are fine. They just aren't as big as Junior McHugeface. Anyway, so Jim is backed into a corner. So he murders Reverend Coggins to keep his secrets safe. He knows
And that murder, jeez.
I know. Grizzly. Yeah, just like pushed him up into the dome, and then the hearing aid explodes inside his brain, causing internal bleeding. Just total brutality.
I know.
And it doesn't stop him for a second.
No. And then it's weird because earlier in the episode, he's wondering, where did I go wrong with Junior?
Yeah.
How could this have happened? And it's like, okay, well, we see how this happened because you're a crazy murderer, which Junior hasn't even gotten to yet.
Yeah, Junior has it. Well, we haven't seen that he's
yeah.
murdered anybody, but he's probably murdered some small animals, just to train himself. He's like Dexter, and no, Big Jim is so deep in denial about
His life?
about his whole life,
Yeah.
his abilities as a parent, his function as a man, his role in this town, which, Reverend Coggins made the point. He's like, you think that this town is yours, but it's not anymore. It's someone else's. And he doesn't say God there. I know he means God, but it is a true point. The town doesn't really belong to any of them anymore.
No.
Whoever or whatever this dome is, or whoever or whatever is controlling it, is firmly in charge of this town and its inhabitants. And only the dome will decide when and if their suffering will end. Yeah. So where do we think Jim's gonna go from here? So now Angie is out. He let her out. So Junior's tenure as a sheriff, unless she keeps it secret, which, like, after the end of this episode, I'm worried that she will,
Right.
so that he can stay on the sheriff's payroll as a deputy, whatever. And I want her to just blow up his spot already. We need everyone to know about the drug making. We need everyone to know about the petroleum. His fingerprints are all over Reverend Coggins's face. So, when someone finds that body, if they dust him for prints red-handed.
Yeah, but he'll probably come up with some excuse like I was praying with him in his face or something.
He was what? He was praying with him in his face? No, the time for him to get away with murder is over, because he could have called Linda and said, Coggins just fought with me, and then I was fighting, and in self-defense, I pushed him up against the dome. Like, the moment for that has
He
passed.
might say that in the next episode.
I guess so. Yeah, he might rush into the sheriff's office weeping and wailing, I'm so sorry. Nobody buy it. Come on. People are giving him way too much rope. They're giving him enough rope to hang himself, but I want him to hang himself already. He's doing too much evil stuff. Anyway, I don't like bad guys. I want to see bad guys brought to justice. That's my thing.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. So let's talk about, and also he had nobody come visit him at visiting day.
No.
But
then everybody he knows is under the dome.
Or dead. Yeah.
Well, I guess he knows some of the random, like, spouses and stuff of the people.
That's true. And
they probably don't like him.
I thought for a second maybe he and Rose were going to kindle something
I know.
in the cement works. There were so many alluded to romances in this episode, and in the preview for this episode, where it looked like we were going to get tons of the world is ending, let's make out makeouts, which I was so excited for. because I want to just jumpstart all these romances and get them going. You know, we've got Joe and Nori, but, you know, I'm worried that the only time that they can ever touch each other for more than a second is when there's a Moab being blown up. You know, electromagnetics. I don't know science. I'm going to say that right now. I am not a scientist, but what I can say is when the Moab blew up, the electromagnetic field of the dome was altered significantly. Whether these changes will persist, time will only tell. I hope that it will, just so that Joe and Nori can continue to get together, because they're cute together. Dang it.
They are cute.
They're
cute. Super cute.
Yeah.
Are we talking about them now?
Yeah, let's talk about them now.
Because I like their little walkie-talkies in the beginning. I thought that was cute.
It was, and it was a great, simple way to show the science. Mm-hmm. And then he wakes her up at the butt crack of dawn so he can take her out and show her these beautiful butterflies. And how can she not be charmed by the man who shows her butterflies all up on that dome? You know, I imagine that Nori's moms feel more secure in that they're staying with, you know, their daughter's would-be boyfriend because they can't touch. If they could touch, I imagine they would be far more nervous about that.
But do they know that they both can't touch because of the seizures yet?
Yeah, because that's what they both wound up in the hospital for the seizures.
Oh, that's right.
You know, in the last episode.
But I keep thinking they haven't seen that video yet, though.
No, they have not seen the video, but that's a completely even scarier thought.
Right.
You know, because the dome is communicating through them. So they're looking at these beautiful butterflies, and Barbie wakes up in his car.
The butterflies, though, interesting point about the butterflies. So they start to talk about, or Nori starts to talk about how butterflies evolve, and maybe people were changing into something else. So when the bomb goes off, the dome is altered.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the symbolism of the dome evolving.
That is interesting. But then what of that last butterfly at the end of the episode, right? So is it the futility of the dome will never change, you know, the butterfly is still touching the dome, but it's also the last one. Mm-hmm. So that is very interesting. When you look at that symbolically, is it that the dome cannot be changed, cannot be killed, and it will always be what it is? So it will always be attracting butterflies. There's a butterfly that survived a huge bomb blast and is still there. Is Big Jim that butterfly? Is he the survivor? Or will there be survivors? Or and this is just pure speculation, you say, you know, transformation, and what if they're transforming everyone inside the dome? What if they are transforming, right? And the dome is like an incubator for aliens. I know, big jump, but we don't know where it's from. But just it's like an incubator for aliens, and they're all becoming aliens, or they're all becoming monsters. This is all very possible.
But there is a lot of reference to the dome and how it affects the people on the inside in this episode.
Very true. Very, very true. So when we get to Visitors Day, Nori meets her dad.
Yes.
And she is pissed off. She is pissed off because she's not supposed to have a dad. It's supposed to be an anonymous donor. And this guy just shows up because there's news cameras and he wants his second in the spotlight. Or so it would seem. Right? Mm-hmm. I've never had that situation in my life, but I have to imagine that it was pretty earth-shattering. And then, of course...
Especially because she thought he was anonymous, and he has all these photos to prove it. To prove that he's not.
Yeah.
So he has proof with him, which is, I mean, anybody can come up and say, oh, I want to be famous. I want to claim you, because I'm sure, like, we saw the People magazine for Linda.
Yeah, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Where did he even get the photo, considering that all of his stuff is inside the dome? Facebook, probably.
Yeah, he has it on he has the iPad, so.
Oh, yeah, no, not an iPad. It is a Microsoft Surface.
Oh.
Promotional consideration by Microsoft.
I don't know anything about technology.
Okay.
Computer thingies.
It's the Microsoft Surface with the snap-on keyboard thing, bright colors. It's nice.
So he probably has all of his photos on that.
I guess so.
And I'm sure, because we know that every time a disaster happens in America, they put it on the cover of People magazine.
Right.
So they're probably all...
Right. Kim Ye's baby, for example, is an American disaster. But why did he bring his Microsoft Surface with him to a parade which was only going to last a couple of hours? What was he doing with it?
Maybe he does work things on it at the parade.
He's a firefighter.
I don't know.
What work things is he doing? All right. Anyway, that's just a quibble. I love this show. Just a quibble, but they had to fit the promotional consideration in because it pays for the show.
Right.
Anyway, what else with Joe and Nori? So finally, Joe's in full tilt panic mode about his sister.
Yes, which we somebody commented that in the last episode we weren't expressing how pleased we were that Joe finally asked about his sister. You know what? I forgot to mention it because we mentioned it when we were watching it.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my gosh. And for some reason, I thought that translated into here, but
That's
you guys
fine.
didn't hear that.
You guys didn't hear that, so let's hear it right now. Thank you, Joe, for
Yes.
finally being a good brother, you big dummy.
Right. And really looking for, actually this time,
looking.
He was actually looking.
Looking to the point of putting yourself in danger of the
Yes.
mother of all bombs.
Yes.
Finally redeeming yourself
Why
in that
Joe
regard.
doesn't check her room? We'll never know.
I don't know. Well, maybe because he's been in the house and he's checked it dozens and dozens of
that's true.
times.
That's true.
You know, but it
And when the first time he checked it, why he didn't see Junior hanging out all creepy with a gun?
yeah. How about that? Junior. It's because he's got secret chameleon powers and he can blend into
true.
the background.
He's probably hiding behind a curtain.
Exactly. No, Junior's life is just one big game of hide and go seek, but with extra murder. He's beyond nutso.
I think he just practices that kind of stuff. He practices with his switchblade.
Right.
He practices hiding in corners.
Sure.
He practices creeping around town.
See, I'd love to see this as like a comedy video. Like if somebody was doing like deleted scenes from Under the Dome, Junior's Big Adventure, and it's just like Junior practicing sneaking up on people. Like that to me is hysterical. I would love to see that if someone makes that. Anyway, I wanna move on from our two teens to our hero.
Who got to make out? They got to make out.
Well, okay, the teens got to make out. Yeah.
Only couple who got to make out.
Only couple got to make out was illegal. Gosh darn it. Come on, CBS. Give us some action we can chew on. Stupid.
It was cute though. They
It
made
was
out.
so
They made out
cute.
under a bomb.
I know, and then the only thing he can think about is like, oh my god, we made out and we didn't have seizures, and she's like, we're alive, stupid. So Joe, you're such a small town boy, and Joe's friend is still an idiot, and he got a dog.
He has no friends.
What
although
is it, Ben? Ben is his friend?
Ben,
Yeah.
but Ben has no friends outside the dome. Ben only knows people inside the dome. Apparently,
he doesn't
I don't
care.
think Ben has parents. I think he just grew
Yeah.
from the earth.
He's a burnout. He's gonna be that guy who he's gonna buy the cabin someday. Someday he's gonna
Yes.
buy the cabin and it's just gonna be him and his dog and he's just gonna be smoking J's and like
Well,
not.
I am glad that we
looking-
saw the dog that was rescued from the severed person from
Yes.
the previous episode. I'm glad to know that dog is okay and has not been abandoned by the children who were so excited to see it.
I'm glad too. No, good on Ben. Then finally, for taking care of the dog. Fine.
He has one task in this show.
He has he has two tasks: take care of the dog, deliver exposition.
Yes.
3 tasks: deliver lame jokes. 4 tasks: wear beanies. Okay. Let's talk about Barbie and Julia. Oh wait,
My favorite romance.
Before we talk about them, I'm just going to talk really quickly about a movie called The Adventures of Serial Buddies, which if you've listened to this podcast before, you've heard it, but I'm going to tell you again. So there's this movie created by Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, who founded AfterBuzz TV. It is now available on SerialBuddies.com and on iTunes. $4.99 to rent, $5.99 to buy. It's a super funny, twisted movie about serial killers who are buddies. If you're a fan of Junior, this is for you. Or if you're not a fan of Junior, you want to laugh at serial killer, bumbling guys, you should watch this. It's loaded with celebrity cameos. Henry Winkler's in it, Christopher Lloyd, Kathy Lee Gifford, Beth Bears from Two Broke Girls. If you like CBS, there you go. Artie Lang is in it, Christopher McDonald, and the four leads are just really, really funny LA comedians. A lot of you have asked us, hey, how can we support AfterBuzz TV? We love your shows. We love getting them for free, every day of the week. Well, this is how. If you buy or rent this movie, that money is going directly back into AfterBuzz TV, helping us build our third studio so we can put out even more great free content and continue to give it to you, the fans. That is all the hawking that I'm going to do for right now. Except that I will mention, thank you so much for all of the great comments and reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Please keep it up. Please keep reviewing us 5 stars, if you please. Because
we have a 16-year-old from Canada. I find it interesting to see who's listening.
Yeah, tell us who's listening, because we
I think that's cool.
We do this show because we love Under the Dome, and we love hearing about the people who like sharing that with us. It's for fans by fans. So let us know who the fans are, because we're fans of you. Oh, I was half expecting a sound effect. It didn't come.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out where you were going with it, and I was like, he's gonna end now?
No. It's all it's improv, okay? It happens only once. It never happens again. Okay. Time to talk about our favorite couple who still haven't kissed because he killed her husband.
I know.
It's
they
Barbie
are my
and
favorite
Julia.
couple, though.
Yes. Barbie and Julia. When will they get over all their baggage and just do it?
When will they get past hand-holding?
Yes. When will
Although
they get past...
I do appreciate the hand-holding.
Well, yeah. Everybody needs a little hand-holding.
Yeah.
But dang it, I thought that they were going to kiss this week. Because in the preview for last week, they just showed like the dolly in as she's like got the bottle and but she has forgiven him somewhat. He tried to tell her the truth back when he thought that they were all going to die. He was trying to tell her about the fact that he murdered Peter, who, if he doesn't tell her at this point, he's kind of gotten away with it, because Visitor's Day came. And Peter's sister shows up with a letter from Peter basically saying, I know this is confusing, but don't look for me. Tell Julia she can do better. Hurtful. Mm-hmm. Tears. She
figures she's been left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a jerk if that's actually what it was. But it's not, because he's murdered.
So he would. I feel that the letter was probably initially about the situation that happened in the cabin,
right?
Because he knew there was going to be a showdown.
Well, I think so
he was probably alluding to the fact that,
well, he was intending to run. He was going to go on the run.
Yeah.
He was going to go on the run. So she would have wound up alone anyway.
Yeah,
but
her husband was a poop.
He was a poop. Their house was going to be foreclosed on. If the dome ever comes down, she's homeless. Huge poop, that guy. But that is not the case. Instead, she's falling in love with her husband's murderer. I know we have no proof that they're falling in love, but come on, guys.
They are. They're
like
hands.
They're the two most attractive people in town. Everyone from a town knows that the attractive people get together. This is just what happens. And I want someone to sit down with them and explain that to them. It's like, just because we're under a dome doesn't mean that we don't all want gossip. So you guys need to hook up so we have something to look forward to.
And they're both like smart, capable people.
Exactly.
I like that too. They're not like attractive idiots.
Yeah, she jumps right into the shit, and he's been in the shit.
Yeah.
And
we find out that now his story is different a little bit from the one in the book. I mean, the one in the book, he's actually a military hero, and then in this one, he kills people by friendly fire. And I mean, that's taken from real life stories.
Yeah, what a haunting little bit of backstory for him. He used that coin to his advantage at the dome, and then he reveals to Julia, which I think makes her like him even more in a perverse way, because she sees how much it affects him.
Yes.
That, he's no hero. he's responsible for the deaths of dozens of soldiers on his side. He's trying to make an honest attempt at change. I mean, granted, he wasn't doing a great job of it before the dome came down.
Yeah, he gets out of the military because he's so upset about what he did, and then he goes into another career that is not an honest career. So.
Right, but he couldn't get work doing anything else.
Right.
He's got a particular set of skills, a la Liam Neeson, and that's all he can really do. Julia, however, she has that one little speech that I liked, where she was talking about how she didn't fit in the town, but now that the dome's come down, she kind of understands it.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think is going through her mind right now? Husband abandoned her. She never wanted to move here, but now helping all these people, she's found purpose. Right. One that she hasn't had in a long time.
And I think she also feels like, this town did not get any real big juicy news stories before the dome came down, I'm assuming.
That's true, yeah.
And so for the first time ever, she gets to be a real reporter. She gets to go on the air and make all these important announcements. So she probably feels like she felt back in Chicago more like a real reporter.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time. And then there's a sense of community here that you wouldn't get, although Chicago can have a small town feel, but
can it?
Yeah.
I've never lived in Chicago. I would not know.
I feel like everybody in Chicago knows each other.
That's weird. It's a big city.
Yeah, my dad's from Chicago, and he's always like, oh yeah, I know that guy. You're like, what?
I feel that way here, but really only in the comedy community. Here being Los Angeles. Anyway, so is Barbie still living in his car after this episode, or does she let him move back in? Oh, dang. Still in the doghouse. Well,
she'll probably let him move back in, though, after the hand-holding.
That's true. Well, it was just a little hand-holding.
Yeah, but when you share an experience like almost dying with somebody, I think that warrants like an invitation into your house.
That's true. I mean, granted, we could, and this won't happen, but the next episode 6, could open and they literally burst through a front door and they're just having "thank God we're alive" sex. But that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Because
this is CBS. And also, I mean, don't you do it, Barbie. You killed her husband. You need to be more guilty than that, okay? You need to tell her, and then if she forgives you, then you can do it.
He really is the tortured hero, though. He's the all-time, like, tortured hero. He has so many problems and situations going on, and you just want to root for him.
Yeah.
You just want to root for him.
You want to root for him because he's capable, and he's, ultimately he's doing good things now. Mm-hmm. He gives Phil his watch back.
Yes.
His grandfather's watch back. But, dang it, don't. I want you to do it, but don't until you tell her. Because then it's just going to be so messy and bad later.
Right.
I just want them to be happy.
We just want happiness under the dome.
We just want everyone under the dome to get together and be happy. Is that so much to ask? And not turn into aliens, or do turn into aliens, but make a decision already.
Happy aliens.
Yeah. There was a motif this week about touching the dome.
Yes.
They're putting that back into our memory.
Yes.
And I'm wondering,
and they touch it like with a sense of like awe and wonder, and almost the way that you would touch something like living and magical.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're touching it like people would touch a unicorn.
Oh,
That's how I would touch a unicorn.
Definitely. With reverence, and the way Big Jim touched it.
Yeah.
And then ooh.
Yes.
Soft.
Unicorn.
Yeah. Oh, it's how I treat cats. Because I never really spent any time around animals when I was a kid, so I flip out whenever I get to pet something.
Aww.
Oh my god, I just become a mess. I am a mess. I just can't stop talking in voices. Anyway, this is not Matt Talks About Pets. This is Under the Dome with Matt and Jackie. So Phil and Dodie also feel like they should get together.
I love that because you know what? I I didn't really understand because we hadn't gotten enough of them together.
Yeah.
That I didn't really understand if theirs was a working relationship, period, or if they were romantic as well.
Oh, like already.
And you mentioned last week that you thought they were going to hook up, and when they started dancing together, I was like, oh, it is romantic and I like it.
Yeah. Oh, cause come on.
Yeah.
He's so cute. Dang it! When did I become such a softie? I used to be like this hard sci-fi guy. Oh, the dome is gonna turn them into blah blah blah. No, I just want everyone to get together.
And I like their cute little sarcastic banter.
I know. I hate you. I hate you too.
Yeah, and then they're dancing together, and
Yeah.
to a song that has some meaning between them.
Exactly.
clearly.
He picked it out for her. You know. And it was a song about a woman. It was like the end of the world, but it was also a song about a woman. I can't remember the exact song off the top of my head. But yeah, let's just get everyone together so that a whole bunch of revelations can come out, and then everyone can break up again and then wind up with somebody else. Okay? This is how
You just made this Melrose Place under the dome.
it should be Melrose Place under the dome. It should be Melrose Place. There should be far more drinks getting thrown in Joe's face for being dumb. And in Ben's face, and then the dog can lick it off his face. Let's move into predictions, I think.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, so we know that the government has abandoned everyone in the town. And that it almost started a war. China tried to attack the U.S. because the dome exists and it's affecting the magnetic fields of the planet. So, is the dome...
But we also know now that because I feel like there was some question in the last 2 episodes whether or not the military was actually involved.
Yeah.
And I was still questioning that myself. But now that they're bombing the dome, we know that they're trying to figure out what's going on too.
Exactly. Well, they're done trying. They're just like, let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
So, is the dome here to screw with the people under the dome, or is it on the planet to affect the magnetic fields of Earth? That's like a new question that's been posed, because the people under the dome are either the guinea pigs, or they're just an unfortunate side effect of what could be called some sort of magnetic probe. Right? Magnetic probe from space or from the ether. We still haven't really ruled out whether or not this is supernatural.
Yeah.
Because of really just because of the phone video with Joe and Nori and the I can't imagine that a computer or that, an alien being could really tap into him in that way. Like it on some level, I feel like it's gotta be supernatural in origin, but it's a scientific thing. That's what's like getting me.
But maybe it's something that's like alien but has supernatural qualities.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it could be from another planet. It could be from
because I feel like there's always stories about like alien possession.
Yeah.
As well.
I still feel like on some level it's something that is judging humanity.
Yes.
It is something either from
testing them too.
Yes, judging and testing humanity. Maybe even something that, falls down every 10,000 years, or something. But like we just never knew about it.
Did the dome kill the dinosaurs?
Did the dome kill the dinosaurs? Exactly. Did the dome kill the dinosaurs? Did the dome cause the fall of Atlantis or the Incan Empire? We don't know. Not the Incans, the Aztecs. Like, what if the dome comes down when we've reached, like, the height of our powers as a race, and then it judges us and whether or not we're allowed to continue to develop?
I think that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
And I think also Junior might shoot Angie.
Oh, I hope that doesn't
think he
happen.
might.
I really don't want that to happen. No shooting.
know.
No shooting,
I
big
like
face.
Angie.
Okay, Jackie, predictions.
That was my prediction.
That was your prediction? Okay, I don't think that Junior's going to kill Angie, and I think that Big Jim's drug stuff is going to get exposed next episode. Jackie, where can the people find you?
At 123 Jackie_B at Twitter.
All right, and you can find me at Matt Lieberman on Twitter. That's MattLieberman. You can also find sketch comedy featuring me at VLYTV.com. And if you live in Los Angeles area and you love live comedy, you can come see me as a member of DJ Fawcett at the I.O. West Comedy Theater the first Sunday of every month at 8 p.m.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.